Hi everyone, welcome to this session. Let's understand what are operators in JavaScript. So by definition, operators are symbols that allow us to perform any sort of operations or actions on data. And these are the types of operators available in JavaScript or in fact in any other programming language as well. So let's go over these one by one and we'll do some examples and check out the results. So I'll start with the assignment operator. So I'll declare a variable and then assign a value to it. And I'll declare another variable and I'll assign a value to it. So you see, I am using assignment operator to assign a value to any variable. Okay, so that's the use of the assignment operator. Now let's start with the second one, which is arithmetic operator. I'll take another value, let x is equals to 5, and then let's take another value, let y is equals to 5, and then I'm going to log these values with by using these operators. So if I do x plus y, you can see the result here that it gives us the result. And this one, if I do this, you can see that it is subtracting, and if I do this, it will do the multiplication and it will give us the result back. And similarly, if we do the division, it will give us the result back, right? And this one is a modulo operator which returns us the remainder of a division. Okay, so let's say if I use this and here if I use the modulo, so you see the remainder is 0 because when you divide 5 by 5, there is no remainder that is left. But if I change this value, let's say if I make it 11, then you should see 1 as the result. So here is the result. And this one is for the exponential, right? So for example, if you have this value, let's say 10, and let me make it 2. Okay, so 10 to the power 2. That is the kind of result that it will give us back. So for example, let me just use this and save this. So now you can see the result over here, right? Now let's just start with comparison operators. I'll change this value. I'll make it 5, and this one I'll make it as string 5. So here you see this is a number value and this is a string value. And let's just go ahead and start using these. So I'll log the value and I'll do x double equals to y, and let's save this. So when I'm comparing these two values, right, x is equals to y, it shows me true. But actually we know, right, that this is a string value and it's a number value. But double equals to does not compare the data type. It only compares the value, and that is why it is returning true. But if I do something like this, x triple equals to y. So this compares both the things. It will compare the value as well as the data type. That is why it returns us false. Now let's try this one, negation one. So log and let's save this. So if you see here, it is returning us false. So I'm trying to ask if x is not equals to y. So it should have returned true, right? Because according to me, this is a number and this is a string, but it is returning false. But if we use this one, then this will look at the data type as well as the value. So it returns true. That means we are saying that x is not equals to y. So the result should be true because x is not equals to y. Okay. So you need to use double equals to if you want to check the type as well as the value. But if you only want to check the value, you can use just this one. Let's just check this one, greater than and less than. So for this, let me change the value to, let's say 6. X is greater than y. And if I log this, it says false because x is not greater than y. And similarly, if I do the check for the other one, x is less than y, it returns us true because x is less than y. This one checks if it is greater than or equals to. So for example, if I do this, greater than or equals to, and if I save this, so for now it's returning false, but let's say if I make it as 5, it will return me true because it is not greater but it is equals. Similarly for this one as well, less than or equals to, this will also return us true because it's not less but it is equals. Now let's check the logical operator. So I'll remove this and I'm going to take another two variable. Let is adult, I'll make it as true, and I'll say let has id, I'll make it as false. So if I do this is adult, and let's just use the first one. This is called and logical operator. Okay, adult and has id. Now let me use the first one, which is called and logical operator. So is adult, and we'll use this has id. So whenever you're using this one, right, and operator, then both the values, right, both the values should be true. Otherwise the statement that you're writing, it is not going to return true. So in this case, one is true, another one is false. So it will return us false. So if I save this and run this, see, it is false, right? But let's say if I make it true, then it will return me true. So for and operator, everything has to be true. Otherwise it won't return true. Okay, now let me make it back to false. And now let's try or. And for or, even if there is one value which is true, then it will return us true. Okay, so here if I save this, you see it is true. And this one, the negation one, it just flips the value. So for example, if I do this, so is adult is true right now, but if I use negation, it is going to see the value and it is just going to flip it. So see, it made it false. Now let's check increment and decrement. So I'm going to take another variable, students is equals to 30. So let's say I want to increase this value by 1. So there are different ways of doing it. The first one is this. So students is equals to students plus 1. Okay, now if I log students, I'll see 31, right? Because students has a value 30. So 30 plus 1, 31. Or there is another way of doing it. If I just do students and plus plus, it will increment by 1. Okay, and if I do it again, it is going to increment again. So it will be 32 now. All right, and there's something else that I want to mention over here. So you see this statement, there is an easier way to write this statement. So let me remove this for now. And this statement is actually is equals to, when you write students, and you can write plus equals to 1. Okay, so this statement is totally same as this one. Okay, and if I save this, you'll see 31. It was 30 and then 31. And similarly for the decrement, whatever we did for the increment, it will work for the decrement as well. So if I do this, right, let's say minus, then it will decrease the value. So you'll see the use of these operators a lot in the programs whenever there is a need to keep on increasing the values one by one. Okay, let's understand the ternary operator. So in ternary operator, first you need to mention a condition, and if that condition turns out to be true, your expression 1 will be executed. But if that condition is false, then your expression 2 will be executed. Okay, so let's take an example. Let age is equals to 17, and I'll take another variable, let can vote. First we'll mention the condition. If age is greater than 18, and then what's the syntax? Question mark. So if this is true, what do I want? I want to display a message, can vote. But if this turns out to be false, what do I want? I want to display another message, and that's it. And now let's just log this, log can vote. This is what I'm logging here, right? And then let's just save it and see. So see, it says cannot vote because age is 17. So 17 is not greater than 18. So which one got executed? This one. But let's say if I make it 19, then the first one will get executed, can vote. Okay, in this sort of situations, you can use the ternary operator. Next one is type of operator. This is just to check the type of the data. All right, so let me remove this, and I'll take one more variable. Let person name is equals to, let's say, Robert, and I'll take another variable. Let is student is equals to true. Now let's just use this operator and check the data type. So age, the data type should be a number. Okay, so type of, and save it. So number. And similarly, if we check for the other two, it will tell us the data type. So type of, then person name, and it is a string. Okay, and the third one should be a boolean. So it is checking the value, how you have defined the values, and then based on that, it is checking the data type. So that's all in the operators, and I'll see you in the next one.